So right now in the markets, we do have a risk on environment due to the expectations of this government shutdown to happen today. All right. Because we started off with Hassett saying that he thinks the shutdown is likely to end sometime this week. So this was actually a headline when I was live with my private group. This was the one where it was just a kickoff to equities pushing higher, right? That was the first expectation. But you could just see here at this time, this could help equities push higher, lead to a risk on market. This was at 847. This is the importance of like having access to a news feed, all right, news headlines, because this is what's going to drive the markets. But then later on, right around 9:30, as we can see, like later on today, right, the US Senate is set to vote for the 11th time on the stopgap funding measure. So we understand that today is where they are expected to come back to the office and vote to end the shutdown. So knowing that, instead of understanding that is this week, we can move forward towards today. This is why we saw a lot of the optimism in the markets, right? So taking a look, understanding this is what led to equities to push higher. As you could just see right here, we got NASDAQ breaking above resistance, and this broke happened at 9:30 NYSE open. That's the importance of patience, guys, right? We can see that the VIX, the volatility index, is pushing lower. So we're getting optimism. US30 is now breaking above that high, pushing higher along with S&P 500. So this is a clear risk on market, which was really good. Hopefully a lot of you guys took advantage of that. We have private members that took advantage of these moves as well, okay? Because at the end, ending talks with a government shutdown is going to lead to optimism. And then this is why you're able to identify these shifts, because we're going to see a risk on market. So we already saw equities was pushing higher globally. Now we're seeing risk assets like AUD, NZD, CAD giving us a little bit of weakness, but we see weakness in the yen and in the Swiss, which does help identify that risk on market. Okay, so now like moving forward, let me talk about gold because I know that's going to be the next question. Overall, do I expect this to impact gold? Not really, but we did have this reaction right here. We saw gold did consolidate and we did break lower, which was expected. But the bigger picture is still buys for gold. This doesn't really change anything, because when the government shutdown ends, guys, markets is just going to go back to its regular scheduled program, which is going back to economic data that is confirming already a dovish Federal Reserve, right? So understanding that this is going to lead for the Federal Reserve to be dovish, this is what helps stuff like dollar yields. We see that the yields was pushing lower. I still expect weakness of the dollar, but this is still supports equity upside. This still supports gold pushing higher. And gold is more sensitive towards, I would say, tariffs, right? It's more sensitive towards that topic. And knowing that the uncertainty in the entire markets are still there, it doesn't give us a reason to want to sell gold long term. So we got the pullback, but gold still pushed higher. But overall, this was more important for equities. That was the main driver. So now moving forward, what we'll look for. Most likely, if we do get an end when it becomes a fact, right, that it actually happened, then we could possibly see equities, gold push lower. That could be a good opportunity once it becomes a fact. And they're supposed to meet probably around 2 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. So once that becomes a fact, then maybe we could see equities push lower. Gold push lower, right? Due to de-escalations. Then we look for buys after. When it comes to equities, if this does end, we already saw the markets is already pricing it in. So we already see equities is reacting now to the rumor, right? So the fact that equities is reacting now to the rumor, to me, it's just you miss your opportunity. But what would be a good opportunity is if the lockdown continues. If they don't make a deal, then looking for sales and equities would probably be the best bet. All right, guys. So I would look forward to that as an opportunity. And then that's most likely going to be later today. Okay, so just a quick update was moving the markets right now. Hopefully this was helpful. In like inside my private group, guys, if you guys are interested, right? So you could be up to speed about what's going on. As you can just see here, right? I update the members with the markets, telling them what direction to go. We did go live for this as well, right? So everything is recorded. And then also, this is what's important because you get access to Reuters. We see the news headlines. We got the economic data, news feed. Also, we got our news bot as well. So you're constantly getting updated with news in the markets 24/7. So if you guys are interested, link is in my bio. Also, if you need some additional help, just message me on Instagram. I'm here for you guys. Please like and subscribe. Share this with other traders as well. Have a good one.